Goeienaand, Dumelang, Lochani, Molweni, Guten Tag, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Sanbonani, good evening, groete in die wonderlike naam van Jesus Christus. Hello Janola, I can somewhere see your face, man. I'm not sure what time it is. There's 2 watches. The car watch says it's 6:05 already. The phone watch says it's just before 6 o'clock. I am not sure what time it is. But I'm here. You are here. Thank you so much for logging in. Greetings from Johannesburg. Let me just explain my setting for you. So I live in a valley. So daar waar ek bly, daar's 2 berge. So ek is so in 'n vallei. So there's almost never, the network is just messing up my life because Zoom meetings is a challenge, going live is a challenge. So I am not at home. I am here to have this live, to communicate with you and to just be with you guys because, I love you, UIM. Hallo, ek sien United Independent Movement sê hallo, identifiseer jouself, wie is die? Is of Marlezay, of Monia, of Cherise, of Jacques, ek sal maar ry. Maar hallo Mishka, hallo Johan, hallo Rashida, hallo, wie is daar nog? Nadia, Kobus, my held, Kobus, jy en Lynette gaan maak dat ek Vrystaat te trek. Hallo Suzette. Hallo Owen. Maud, ek dink ek het Maud gesien daar so. Hallo Martin. Hi Lovell, how you doing? So yeah, pretty soon we will be going to the Free State. Ek kan nie wag nie. Hallo Patricia. Hallo Gerry. Ek gaan nog groet, ek het nog 'n paar minute oor. Ek het net vanaand het ons 'n lekker gesprek. Ek weet julle is baie nuuskierig om uit te vind oor die multiparty charter en hoe dit werk en waar pas die UIM in ensovoorts. Hallo Isabel en Andre, my VP. Ek weet nog steeds nie wie hy is nie. Dit wys net United Independent Movement. Hallo Marit. Baie dankie dat julle ingeskakel het. Hi Leanda. Dit was baie interessante paar dae. It was very, very interesting. Ek lê mos aan vertraagde skok, man. Something can happen to me like a month before. Hi, dis Marlezay. My Marlezay, hallo Desiree van die kerk en my president is in the house. How are you doing, my president, my brother? Okay, the family is all here. Ek vat julle uit vir aand, nie ete nie, maar net vir 'n drive. I'm sitting in my car outside a shopping center because this is where I can do my life. Teresa, did you hear about 4,000 riot policing training? Wait, Teresa, jy gaan met mekaar maak. Yes, Neil de Beer in the house. So, as I said, things only drop in my spirit after a while. Like it took me a year to comprehend I am the vice president of a political party. I have all these responsibilities because it was completely out of my, not comfort zone, but it was out of my, I never thought that I would do the things that I'm doing here, but I'm very comfortable in doing it because I know what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to do because it was ordained by God. Yes, please. So it was just amazing from before the 16th, die aanloop tot die 16e en die 17e, al die vergaderings wat bygewoon was, die online vergaderings ensovoorts. But before I go deep into that, I would like to thank our support team. Look, myself SG and the president were there. We did what we had to do, attend the meetings and so on. But I'm always aware of the people, that is not there in the forefront. Die mense hier agter wat tik en wat goed post en so on. Now, other parties have a whole team. They've got a whole media team of at least 6 to some 10 people. We had the most formidable, powerful, dynamic, competent, wat is daar nog? Man, a dream team. Our media team is an absolute dream team. And now I'm talking about Virginia Young and Marlezay Voges. Mense, I need you to I have to explain this because you'll need to understand what was transpiring there. So Virginia is the journalist. She's the media person. So she's liaising with all the media houses, courante, radio, televisie, and so on. Because you have to have a media person who goes and speaks on behalf of your party. To say, listen, ENCA, what, Neil de Beer. So when the press things were happening and so on, Neil knew he has to go there, because it was set up. You will always see Virginia on her phone because she's busy organizing all of these. And while Neil was talking, doing his speech, Virginia is typing the speech. And then she has to send it out, and it is then a whole news report or whatever. Marlezay, in die midde van die feit dat Marlezay is 'n voltydse mamma. That is a job in its own. Mense, dis 'n werk, niemand betaal jou vir daai werk nie, right? And she's also a full-time employee. And she's a wife. Do you understand? She then gets the information, the pictures, the press releases, the hashtags and so on. She gets it from Virginia, and she has to go online and she has to go and post it all over. Whether it is TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. That is what those two ladies. Hoor jy hulle is eisters man. Nee kyk, ek wil nog so 'n gedigte media span sien. Julle is fenomenaal. Ek wil net vir julle verskriklik baie dankie sê. From the bottom of my heart, you two ladies rock. But behind the rock was a man. Kykie, Yusuf, hi. Yusuf het rondgehardloop, né? Want Virginia is mos net een mens daar, so sy was letterlik die enigste media persoon fisies daar, maar Marlezay is aanlyn, so sy hardloop ook en skarrel ook en doen ook haar ding daar in die agtergrond. Maar Yusuf moes alles koördineer. Hy moes toesien, ons het geen mekaar sulke signs, okay, president is nou daar so klaar, hy moet nou hierna te beweeg. So hy het ook oral rondgehardloop. Ek wil net vir die mense sê, baie dankie. Yusuf, Virginia en Marlezay, baie dankie. Mo en Hein, hulle het hulle gedeelte gedoen. Competent as ever. Now, in the convention hall itself, dis nou waar media weg was. It was very confidential. And obviously, I will not be telling you confidential stuff, but I have to tell you this. The most charismatic, liked, sought after personality in that room. Mense, ek wil hê julle moet nou sommer 'n klomp likes en hartjies en thumbs up en goeie see vir meneer Neil de Beer, our president. Mense, you don't understand. He was literally the life of the party. He was the life of the multi-party convention. Okay, the charter convention. Because it was as if nee, wag, ek kom nou by ons SG. Wag, SG was mos nie support nie. Girlfriend. Hallo my SG, waar is jy? Ek soek jou hier so saam met my. Ek gaan nou praat oor die SG. Dis die moment waar jy sê, but wait, that's not all. So ons president was hierdie figuur. As hy nog nie daar was nie, soos hy byvoorbeeld uitgegaan of hy's bietjie laat. Nee, kyk, ons gaan nie aan nie, en as hy inkom, dan lyk dit die son is besig om op te kom. Everybody wanted Neil the Beer in the room because he set the tone. He created the atmosphere. Like he is here when he's live on. Now, here's the thing that I like about Neil the Beer. He is consistent. That's part of the reasons why I'm still here. He's consistent. He doesn't change. Who he is at home, who he is live, who he is in a convention center, he is the same. Yes, he is contagious, right? So he was that guy. Now, then you have the sexiest, most intelligent hunk in any party, because ek het nou gekyk daarso, is daar nog sulke figure. Nee. Ons SG het die koek gevat. He's the guy that ons het altyd mekaar se oë gevang om te to measure, you know, is this thing right? So I would always like to catch his ear or his eye to see if he approves, because Jacques kan mos nie sy emosies regtig wegsteek nie, man. That's why I like him so much. He is who he is. Hy kan nie pretend nie. So when he goes, wanneer hy sy oogies vir nou maak, dan weet ek, okay, die punt is reg, die punt kan deurgaan, en so aan te. Of wanneer hy kry so frons op sy gesig, dan weet ek, nope, not gonna fly with him. En dan wanneer hy so vorentoe, kyk die mic is hier voor ons, wanneer hy so vorentoe buig, en ek sien, nou kyk hy wil nou sy ding sê, dan weet ek, nee, hierdie storie gaan nie deurgaan, sonder die menorah blyd nie. Dat sê jy so, ons SG is 'n absolute menorah blyd, en baie van die goed wat ons wou gehad het, SG, jy kan vir my die invitation stuur, om by my aan te sluit, want ek kyk nou hierso, ek soek 'n rooi kolletjie wat sê, iemand wil by my aansluit. There were a few things that, Lava, you say he needs to play more poker. No, I prefer someone who doesn't have a poker face, because then I can read you. Because then I'm much comfortable with that. So, there was a few things in the agreement that we as the UIM wanted. We went in there and we said to ourselves, this is what we want. And if this is not what we are going to get, then this whole convention is not going to do it for us. Okay? And here's the thing, guys. Ek sien 'n rapport, weet jy wat se koerant was daai gewees wat gesê het, things were so heated. We needed to do breathing exercises. Nee, mense. Dis nie van dit was heated. Dit was glad nie heated nie. We were political parties, very mature people were in that room, very well mannered, very polite. Mense met goeie maniere wat goed opgevoed is, het met mekaar gepraat en onderhandel, and when we differed from one another, we would point it out, we would address it, we will talk about it, we will make suggestions, counter suggestions, and then we would go, okay. Then we would decide this is how we are going to write it. Now, the most important thing, I did add you. I don't know why it's taking so long. You're supposed to press something on your side again, because I accepted your request. So now you can press something else. So the one thing that was very important to us was the declaration, which is point number 12, which is where my SG say, oeh, was soos eagle eyes, because that had to make sense to him. I foi toch. Okay, so you're going to have to look at me in the dark, because that is where I'm at, in the dark. So I will just wait for my SG to come on to explain to you certain things. So the one thing that we wanted pertinently said in layman's language, that is that none of the parties, the 7 parties that were there, none of them will, after, okay, let me say this, the following first. Mense, die is nie 'n koalisie nie. We are not in a coalition with any party at the moment. Yeah, no, everything is off now. Let me just, yeah. We are not in a coalition with any party. You cannot be in a coalition before elections. Okay? Stuur net weer. Let me see. Just send it again. Let's see. Oh, dat sal nou so hartseer wees as ek nie met my SG hierdie live kan doen nie, because it's very important for us that you understand what is going on. But anyway, let me continue. So guys, please don't refer. I don't know why the media and a few people refer to this as a coalition. It wasn't a coalition convention, it was a charter. So at first it was known as the Moonshot Pact. Now we eradicated that name because that name is associated with another party, and we don't want that. It is a fresh name. It is called the Multi-Party Charter. So it's not a coalition. I'm going to repeat it again so that you can understand it is not a coalition. Dit is letterlik 7 partye wat bymekaar gekom het en gesê het, hoorie mense, in die toekoms, in the future, in the very near future, we as parties will not, never ever enter into a coalition. Hello! Hoe gaan het met
je? Goed, dankie. Kan je mij horen?
Ja, kan je hoor en ek kan jou sien en ek lyk sommer ligter want jy is daar in die lig, sien jy? Nou sê ek sommer ook lig.
Ja, die lig is bietjie skerp hoor. Miskien laat ek dit gou in die lig 'n bietjie stel want ek kan omtrent myself nie sien nie.
Okay, dis reg so. Net net op die lig. Pas.
Right, dis bietjie beter.
Ja.
Nee, dit is nie. Wag, kom ons sit so.
Die kar se lig is ook nog aan, maar hy gaan sommer af wanneer hy lus het en ek wil nou nie my kar se battery in ag, laat ek maar nie donker praat. Jy sal maar die lig wees vir vanaand, SG. So I was explaining, baie welkom. SG and Jacques and I decided that we will do this live together so that he can explain the very technical, detailed, legal jargons and stuff that the public is allowed to know. That one thing that the people must know is that we are not in a coalition with any party. But miskien kan jy dit nog bietjie verder en dieper uitlig aan die mense.
Yes, thanks VP. No, we are not in a coalition. We have signed a pre-election agreement, which means we are going to, there were certain principles, a mission, a vision, a plan of action that we discussed during the convention that all the parties agreed to. And we are going to stick to that. There's also a clause in that agreement that covers the duration of this agreement, which says that this agreement is going to continue even after the 2024 elections, and it can basically only be amended by consensus. Parties are welcome to leave if they give written notice, if they don't want to be a part of this charter anymore. Parties can also be removed by the group if they misbehave. They can be removed by a consensus decision. And then obviously if we are lucky enough, well, lucky is the wrong word to use, when we achieve that majority that we are aiming for, we are then obviously we will then form a coalition government. There will be a coalition agreement that gets drafted, and that coalition agreement will then replace our current pre-election agreement.
Okay. So most people get very confused between charter and coalition and so, but I suppose it's something to get used to, and that is why we need to repeat ourselves continuously. So people, one of the questions is, so now what happens? The ANC en die EFF is die woorde wat mense so rondgooi en so. So what happens if one of the parties decides that no, they actually want to go with the ANC next year after the elections? Is that even possible?
They will do so at their own peril, because I mean, look, this is not a legally binding document. This is something that we have committed ourselves to, all the parties, that are members of this charter. We have, you can call it a gentleman's agreement, but it's more than a gentleman's agreement. It's a written document that was signed by everybody. So, every party is putting their party's reputation at stake as well, or putting it on the line. So if any party is going to be foolish enough to leave this coalition and join hands with the ANC and the EFF, good luck to them. Because we as a group said that we are going to rain down on those people or those parties like hellfire if they do that. So we have all decided that we are going to respect one another, throughout this campaign process that's going to happen over the next 12 months. We are not going to bash each other. We're not going to attack each other publicly. But if any party misbehaves, or if they decide to drop us, or if they decide to change their mind and start negotiating with the ANC and the EFF, then we are not going to respond kindly, if I can put it that way. So every party has got a responsibility to this charter, and like I said, they will leave at their own peril. I mean, and I think the thing is that this agreement has been made public. I mean, we discussed those 4 pillars, if you can remember, when we were in the convention, and we established that there's 27 million people out there that can vote, that don't vote. So therein lies our majority, our possible majority, for the 2024 elections. And, those people don't vote because they have lost trust and confidence in political parties. And you're definitely not going to gain their confidence if you, break your word to the charter. So we are all aware of that, and we are 100% committed to this process, and we want to tap into those resources. We want to inspire the public and win their trust, so that they can come out in 2024 and vote. Because at the end of the day, we've done all that we could do from our side, and we will continue doing what we need to do, but it's up to the people now. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's really, really that simple. The people have the power to remove the ANC, but we have to show them something that they can believe in, and I think we have started that process, and I think we are going to achieve that goal. That's the opinion of all the parties. That's not just my opinion. We all share the same sentiments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that is nou die Daisy ernstige vraag. Ons gaan net weer terugduik, maar gee net vir my so 'n idee. Ek het nou so kortliks verduidelik hoe ek hierdie hele convention ervaar het. Hoe was dit vir jou gewees?
Ja. Look, at times it was, they were, like I said, we had 21 or 22 agenda points. The majority of those discussions went very smoothly. We actually flew through that agenda. There were 2 or 3 sticky points that we spent some more time on. And I mean, even leading up to the convention, people don't understand that we've been in and out of meetings for the last 2 months. I mean, I've been in 4 meetings a week for the last 2 months. So a lot of this stuff have been discussed before we actually went into the convention, and there were 3 or 4 points of divergence where the parties just couldn't agree on. And those were the points that I think everybody was not looking forward to, but those were the points that everybody was kind of, nervous about or dreading. And it actually went surprisingly well. We had to definitely raise our voices at times, and we had to, make sure that we put our foot down. But I was expecting more resistance, and there wasn't any. So there was a little resistance, but no, I won't say resistance. Let's rather say miscommunication. But we stuck to our guns, and everybody that eventually, when we wrote that declaration and when we decided on the terms and conditions with regards to the duration of this agreement, I think everybody afterwards were happy with what was written and what was put down on paper. So. But yeah, we had some interesting times. You'll know what I mean, what I'm talking about. We had some laughs. We had some interesting moments. But yeah, it was a historic moment, in my opinion.
Absolutely. The Oxford comma was the highlight for me. So it'll always be an inside joke for us. But anyway, so the UIMers want to now know, so how do we campaign if we are now, in alignment with Action SA, DA, Vryheidsfront Plus, ons vierde party, who's the SNP, Sanko, how are we going to campaign? It's also quite easy. We just campaign and we promote the United Independent Movement.
Yes, I think what we need to do is, and we have discussed this, at our NEC meetings previously, we need to start focusing now on what the UIM offers to people. We need to focus on our strengths. We need to focus on our solutions. We don't need to point out any flaws anymore. We've been doing that with the ANC and the EFF for 2 years now.
Yep.
I think the people, there's nothing that we can tell the public that they don't know already. And the same applies to, our colleagues that are part of this charter. I mean, we don't want to base our campaign on pointing out the flaws of other political parties. We would rather point out all the strengths that make the UIM unique.
Yeah.
And we want to start discussing our solutions to South Africa's problems because we have some unique solutions, I think, that no other party offers. And we want to focus on our strengths. Every party that is part of this agreement is going to do the same. We are going to focus on our strengths. Obviously, we've all got our constituents. There are people that love the UIM we've got, Neil always gives a perfect example. He says, you know what, we've got our menu. We are a very unique little restaurant. We've got our own menu. If you love the menu, then support us. If you don't love the menu, there are 325 other parties out there that you can go and gaan eet by 'n ander restaurant.
Yes.
But but we have things that make us unique, and I think the people that really follow us and support us and love us would have recognized that by now. So we just want to build on our strengths and not focus on the flaws of any other parties out there.
Yeah, and also we know that the United Independent Movement is the best party. Oh, the other small party that I forgot was the IFP. So the people that are watching now, die mense wat ons nou kyk, julle kan ook vir ons vra as julle vra het en so aan. But besides our team of people, and I want people to get this also in their minds, it is not the UIM there and the people here, guys. You that are watching now, you are part of the UIM. We need you to put up your hands and contact our people here online. You will see them. You'll see Cherise is there. You'll see Monia is there. You'll see Marleze is there. Virginia is there. Diane is there. Put up your hands and tell them. Listen, I love in Timbuktu. I love in Hammanskraal. I love in wherever. Put up your hands and say, I am here. I would like to put up my hand for the UIM and help to grow the UIM there. That notion that the UIM is people out there, you need to break that, get it out of your mind. You are part of the UIM. But that's not just my bit that I wanted to say to the public. What is it that you would like to add to that?
It's like I said in that notice that we sent out yesterday, our seat, at the table of a possible coalition government is not guaranteed. We still have to, we are not a party that's in government. Yes, we are in local council. We still have to get there. So, this is a pre-election agreement that we have signed. Our future in this charter is dependent on us getting enough votes and, getting seats in the National Assembly, in national or provincial government next year. So, the people we've gotten a lot of media exposure, and I think we were introduced to a lot of people in South Africa over the last couple of days, people that didn't know us. Hopefully they will start following us now, and hopefully I think there's enough that was said, and there was enough media exposure that piqued people's interest out there. I think people are going to now do a bit of scratching and digging because they want to know more. But it's entirely, up to the people to keep us here, to keep us in the position that we are, and to hopefully, afford us the opportunity to go into national and provincial government in 2024. I mean, we are representing the people. We're a bunch of leaders that have been chosen by the people to basically represent them at provincial and national level. So if they like what they see and they like our message, I mean, we don't take nonsense. We say it as it is. We are a very unique party and a unique bunch of individuals. So, we're going to represent the people, and we will represent them well. And I mean, we will fight for them like we did during the convention last week. So if the people want if they need to make sure that they put us in government, it's up to them. And the 27 million people out there that don't vote need to come out and vote and make sure that, we get that majority so we can form a coalition government and kick the ANC and the EFF out. So it's entirely up to the public and the people.
Absolutely. So I see a question there by Beverly that asks, is the UIM going to be invited to Parliament? You don't get invited to Parliament. You have to work to get into Parliament. It takes a vote per person, per household, per township, per suburb, per city, per province to get the UIM into Parliament. No party was ever invited to come to Parliament. And I think one of the things that we need to do also, SG, is to educate our people. And this we also have to do dorpie vir dorpie. Ek sien mense is besig om hulle hande op te steek. People, the one thing that you have to do, number one, is register yourself on the IEC platform. Gaan tik IEC, www.iec.co.za, dink ek, en gaan registreer jouself om te kan stem. Those people that have never voted, this is how it works. You first have to register yourself on the IEC platform. Then register yourself on the UIM. We're going to post links here. Marlizay of Sharice gaan post. You click on those links and then you say, I want to be a member of the UIM. That is how we will know how many people we will have in Parliament. We will not rest if there's at least 5 people in Parliament, want as daar 5 mense wat die parlement se fondament kan skud en kan sê nee, ons stem nie saam met die nie. En die verskil is, ons gaan dan, we're going to have partners with us, and this is what makes this the charter so phenomenal. We will be kind of guaranteed that we will not be putting up our hands alone if we disagree with something that's being discussed in Parliament. We will have other partners to assist us. So, no, Beverly, we don't get invited. We have to work to get into Parliament.
Yeah, it's 100% correct, VP. Yeah, and the thing is, one inspirational voice can influence a lot of people in a very positive way. We've got 1 seat in Cape Town Council, we've got 1 seat in Joburg Council, we've got 1 seat in eThekwini Council, but, our message and the way that we present ourselves and the words that we speak, it influences a lot of people in council. So you might find, that you get a lot of people that agree with UIM views and UIM policies just because of the way that we conduct ourselves, in council. And the same will apply to Parliament. Even if we get 2 people or 3 people into national government, we're going to influence those around us in a positive way. And I'm hoping that, all the other parties will do the same, because at the end of the day, all the decisions that get taken in Parliament get taken by vote and majority decisions. So if we can influence those around us in a positive way, you can you might have 2 or 3 voices in parliament, but you have a whole team of people that you inspire and influence that can hopefully agree on certain issues or points with. But obviously the more the merrier, because we're a crazy bunch and we are fearless. We say it as it is. We don't take no for an answer. We don't stand, we're not threatened or intimidated by anybody. And I think that's what South Africa needs in parliament. Yeah. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that will agree with me that sat in that conference room with us. I think I saw some people I think got a bit of a shock at times. But that is what's needed. That is who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that is what South Africa, that's what our supporters appreciate about us, is the fact that we don't shut up. You're not going to intimidate us. We're not for sale. En ons gaan hom sê soos hy is.
Kykie, ons het die mees flamboyante, ek sal nie sê kontroversieel nie, maar die mees reguit president leier in enige party. I mean, what president goes onto a press release or a press conference, there's the word, and greets the people with the awareness.
Well, I've got bad news for the people out there, or for the opposition. There's plenty more where that came from. They just don't know the rest of the UIM yet.
Yes, because we multiply.
If you want to see sparks, as jy die poppe wil sien dans, nee, kry nou meer seats vir ons in government, dan gaan julle nou 'n ding sien.
Exactly. So that is the bottom line, guys. If you want more Neil de Beers, more Jacques, more Fatimas in Parliament, spread the word, copy the link, send it to your friends. Ek verstaan dat mense wat nie regtig wil uit hulle comfort zone uitgaan en uitgaan soos ons in die strate en mense opteken, is fine. Just send out the link to your 10 friends and 5 family members that loves you. Send them the link and tell them to join the UIM, because that's how you are going to make a difference. Because dit gaan nie sin maak as mense nie vir die UIM stem en dan sê hulle, ouma, julle het gesê julle gaan parlement toe. Julle stem vir ons tot in die parlement in. You guys are the ones that is going to see to it that we go to parliament. And the other thing is, mense dink politiek is 'n siekte, Jacques. Politiek is nie 'n siekte nie, mense. Politiek is nie iets daar ver nie. My ma beskryf politiek so eenvoudig. Politics is community development. That's what it is. It's developing the community, but the difference is all the people that are currently in their own communities doing all the beautiful things that they are doing. We need some of you, or most of you, to step out of that position now and make yourself available for the broader community to help to build our South Africa. Neil said it altyd. In 1994, we voted to what again?
Change.
We voted to change a country, and now in 2024, we are going to vote to save a country. And that is nie 'n cliché nie, dit is die waarheid, mense. It is the absolute truth. If you don't go out and vote next year, then this country, as it is going downhill. But with your help, if you don't vote, then it's going to be completely flattened. And the life that you are living right now, which is not a perfect life, it will just be worse.
Yes, VPR. The thing is, political decisions, I mean, they shape our lives every single day. They shape our futures, that they determine what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do. I mean, politics, I mean, people must understand, that it's basically, politics is everything you do in life throughout the day, everything it's connected to your work, your lifestyle, everything. Everything is determined by political decisions, lawmaking, everything. So, I mean, if people, and I mean, it doesn't make sense that people would not want to be a part of that process, because you are entrusting, basically, I mean, if you really think about it, 60 million people are putting their trust in the hands of 400 people that get to make decisions about their lives, that determine, their futures and their livelihoods. So, I mean, and there's a way for people to have a say in those decisions that get taken. And the way that they can do that is to make sure that they elect people, competent people to represent them and represent their interests. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. This is one thing about our democratic system in South Africa that's actually mind-boggling. I mean, you've got 400 people that literally hold 60 million people's lives in their hands. And people need to wake up and they need to start participating and involving themselves in that process. And in politics, you can't just sit at home and say, listen, this has got nothing to do with me. Why bother? No, absolutely not. We could have removed the ANC 20 years ago already. 20
Absolutely.
years ago. There was no need for us to suffer through all that we have suffered for the last 20 years. We could have done this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I think the table has been set now, and I mean the landscape is of it's South Africa is in a dire position now. I mean, we have been for a number of years, but I think we have really reached the point of no return. So hopefully that will wake people up. But like I said, I mean, this should have happened 20 years ago because it was possible. I'm just hoping that South Africa wakes up and says, you know what, it's going to take one day in 5 years, just one day, and it's not even going to take the whole day, where they just have to get up, get off your backside, go to your nearest voting station and cast your vote. Then you can go home, watch your soaps, watch rugby, mark course, bride, do whatever. But we only need you for those 2 or 3 hours on that day next year, please, because you know what, it's got the impact that that effort, the effort that you're going to make, the impact that it can have on our lives and our country. I mean, you can't measure it.
Absolutely. So kom ons praat nou oor hierdie 50+1. Dat ons so in die convention room gesit het. Die woorde 50+1 was die hele tyd, it was said over, and in my mind I'm thinking, why don't we just say 51? What is so significant about having 50+1% going into parliament, and how do we envisage to get there with the seven parties? Hoe om dit nou reg te kry om 51 persentasie in parlement te kry?
Well, that is how government is formed. I mean, 50+1, I mean, that's how government is formed. So our goal is to keep the ANC from getting over that 50% mark. Yes. That's our goal. And I mean, currently, the predictions out there are that they're not going to achieve that majority. They're not going to reach the 50% mark. They're going to dip below it. And then they will look to other parties to form possible coalitions so that they can stay in government, so that they can join with other political parties, get their votes, so that they can, cross that threshold and remain in government. And that is what we are fighting. So we, as the parties that are part of this charter, and obviously the invitation is open for other parties to join us, and we have been in talks with some other parties as well. So I mean, I don't think we're going to stay with the 7 parties that we have at the moment. There will be more parties that join us, and it's very possible for us to get that majority, that 50+1 majority, and to keep the ANC below 50, and then become a coalition government. That excludes the ANC. Obviously, I mean, they will be part of the National Assembly. They will be in government, but hulle sal nie die gitaar slaan, if I can put it that way, which they have been doing for the last 30 years, and that's what we want to prevent.
Exactly, that's what we want. We don't want them to be pulling the strings. And as you said, there will be more parties joining, and civil organizations. The word civil organizations, very powerful, because they are actually the guys on the ground, and the people are more connected to them, because people are disillusioned by political parties, etc., etc. So guys, that is wat Jacques nou net gesê het, is so verskriklik belangrik. En dit is dat die hele idee is om te sorg dat 'n hele klomp partye gaan sorg dat die ANC en die EFF nie daai 50% merk gaan oorskry nie, en dat al die ander partye, ons die 50+1 merk gaan behaal. En dan hulle gaan natuurlik nog steeds in parlement wees, maar hulle gaan nie die grootste sê, because that is what's been happening the past. I don't agree that we give exposure, we just will not allow him to say kill. Yes, absolutely, daar sê Neil iets daar. So, ja, nee, dit is waarheid. We will not give them any exposure. Our whole goal and our whole focus is om die oorlogsveld, because this is like war, guys. This is serious. This is about our lives. This is about the lives of our children and our grandchildren. If we, as ons reg geposisioneer is, al die partye wat saam by ons gaan aansluit, other parties that will be joining us, if they can all get that 50+1%, then this country will be saved. Why? Because the UIM forms part of that multi-party charter. Yes. Because we will keep everybody that is with us. We will do what we've always been doing, and that is to keep people accountable. To say, this is what we said we will bring to the party for the people. This is what we envisaged, and this is what we need to stick to.
Yeah, 100% VP. You know, it's a small portion of the people. You know, a small portion of our country's citizens that are keeping the ANC in power. Because I mean, there's 17 million people that voted in the last election, and there are 27 million people that didn't vote. So they are being kept in power by a very small percentage of people. So you know, it's absolutely possible for us and for the parties that form part of that charter to remove the ANC. But we will, and I have to stress this, we are not going to do it without the participation of the public and the people. It's not going to happen. Because once again, you must remember, we're a bunch of representatives that sat in that conference room, but we are representing our constituents, we are representing our voters. And the more voters we get, the more seats we get. And the more seats we get, then the more possible that 50% majority or that 50+1 becomes.
Yeah.
But we really need to make sure that, you know, we need to inspire those people, that 27 million people that we keep on referring to. We need to inspire them. We need to make sure that they give us a chance. That's all we are asking for. It's just a chance, just one chance. And we cannot afford to continue the way we are. You know, South Africa cannot afford to carry on like this for another 5 years, because we're not going to survive, and that's a fact. So the people, I hope they understand the seriousness of what we are talking about, and that they make the effort and they vote.
Absolutely. I see we've got hashtags here: vote UIM 2024, vote Neil de Beer 2024, and then Neil de Beer for president. Guys, please use the hashtags. Hashtags is very important in the media space, because when we use those hashtags, people all over the world can pick it up, and that is also part of our marketing. And so, net om aan te sit by jou, Jacques, dit is absoluut die waarheid. Die partye kan nou praat wat hulle praat en al die ooreenkomstes namens die publiek maak soos wat hulle wil. Maar as die publiek nie bykom en hulle deel bydra nie, dan is al daai gesprekke verniet en ons het tyd gemors. And it is, you know, it has gone to the dogs. So we really need every single person to participate. And I want to, every person that's watching here, you are somehow connected to a young person, a person that is 17 years old, that will be turning 18 next year, maybe older. Those people, these discussions that we are having now, impacts them 100% directly. So they need to be forming an integral part of this whole process, because we need their voices. They need to also position themselves in such a way that they also have a voice for themselves, to speak for themselves, because they know what their needs are. So that's my encouragement today.
Thank you, VP. Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, young and old, and then not forgetting the people living abroad. Our South Africans, you know, South African brothers and sisters and friends that are living abroad, they can also vote, and they can make a huge difference. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them out there that can vote. So you know what, they've still got a say in what happens to South Africa, and they must please, use the opportunity to please participate in next year's election and help us. But yeah, also just one thing that I want to mention is people must understand that this the charter that we are members of, it's not a political party. There's not going to be when we go and vote in 2024. You're not going to see the charter logo. We don't even have a logo. There's no charter logo. You're still going to have to vote for your own political party. And we will hopefully then be in a situation in 2024 where we can add our votes to that pool, if I can describe it in that way. We are going to have to bring something to the table, and that will be our votes. And so people must understand, you have to still support your political party of choice, and you have to help grow that party and make sure that, because those logos are going to be on the ballot papers, and that's who you need to vote for.
Yeah. And Neil's face will be on the ballot paper, ne?
I doubt it. I think it's going to be the party logo. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be the logo. It's going to be the party logo. Oh, and there's going to be 3 ballots. So there will be a provincial, a regional, and a national one. So on the provincial ballot, people are going to vote for their political legislature, the people that are going to represent them on the provincial legislature.
Okay.
And then for the regional ballot and the national ballot, those will be to select or to elect people that are going to obviously go to the National Assembly, and people that are going to be elected to the NCOP, the National Council of Provinces. But we will we'll share more information when we get closer to that date, and we will, give the people all the right information so that they understand it, and we'll explain it to them in layman's terms, so that they know what to expect, so that they can go out and vote.
Absolutely. And our special voters, also our people that are otherwise abled, our senior citizens, all of them also need to be involved, and we will, do our best to go out there and also explain to them how this works and so on. So there will be 3 ballot papers: national, the president and provincial. So it's national, regional, and
national, regional, and provincial.
So mense, dit is we have to be, very, very aware of what is going on and wat gaan vir wat and so on. Don't make mistakes. And the other thing is small things, people making, but ons gaan dit doen al hoe meer nader aan die voting datum itself, to educate people how to make their cross, because ons mense they mess or they spoil ballot papers by small little things, but we will educate our people as the time goes by. So I'm going to ask again, wherever you stay, waar jy ook al bly, as jy weet, jy het 'n dorp vol mense, 'n kerk vol mense, en jy wil graag hê ons die UIM moet, jy's ook mos deel van die UIM, moet daarna toe kom en kom praat, en ons kan dalk reël dat Neil daar uitkom. We will work it out with the SG. Dit moet natuurlik goed beplan word, provinsie per provinsie. SG sal self laat weet wanneer is Neil waar, en dan met julle hande kan opsteek en sê, nee, maar ons het 'n dorpie in daai provinsie, ons is daar, ons is hier, kan Neil asseblief, want ons kan nou nie 'n spesiale, mense, dit is so maklik vir mense om te sê, ag maar Neil, kan jy nie, kom Nigel toe. Dit vat geld, dit vat tyd, dit vat beplanning. Hy kan nie net na een ou dorpie toe kom nie. Ons moet dit so beplan dat hy oor 'n paar dae in een provinsie kan wees en 'n hele paar dorpies en townshippies en daai plekke besoek. So laat weet ons, let us know when we will let you know when Neil is going where, and then you let us know that you've got a hall full of people that would like to hear from Neil, and sign up. When we see that dorpie has got 100 of, ek maak nou net 'n nommer in my kop op, as ons sien 500 mense van daai dorpie het al klaar geregistreer hier op ons platform, then it is must now worth our while to know that we've got 500 people in that dorpie, that we will go there. But we can't go to a dorpie if there's only 50 people that signed up. Make it that 50 people must get more people. Verstaan julle? Ek soek net baie mense. I just want a lot of people to have signed up. Finish en klaar. Ek gaan nie nog lang stories met julle praat nie. Just sign up. Send the link to everybody to sign up, please.
Yeah, thanks, VP. Yeah, I've got nothing more to add. I don't know if you have any more questions. I think we covered most of it. So, are there any other questions?
Yes. I don't have a question per se now. There was a question, maar jy weet, ek is mos 54 man. Ek kan gou vergeet die dinge gebeur. It was around it was around the parties. Oh, you know, out of ignorance, people think that we have now become, ons is nou een party. Mense wat nou nie van die een party hou nie en ek nie van daai party hou nie, nou dink hulle ons die UIM is deel van daai party en nee, ons staan nog steeds op ons eie. Ons gaan nog steeds op ons eie campaign en hulle moet nog steeds vir ons ondersteun. Dit is nie 'n mixed platform. Iemand het gister gesê dat ons moet dit een umbrella maak en mense moet vir een ding stem. Nee, dit werk nie so nie. Sommige mense hou daarvan om by Shoprite te shopping, ander hou van Pick n Pay, ander hou van Woolies en so aan, maar hulle wil almal kruideniersware hê. So it is actually very good for us to do what we are doing, stay autonomous as a party, have our own values and our policies, etc., so that you as the voter can have a choice. And we are the best alternative. Ek sê dit onomwonde.
Yeah, look, we all discussed in the convention. We all said that there will be competition. We are not going to start washing each other's backs and scratching each other's backs and giving each other high fives. Definitely not. We have all agreed to stick to certain principles and rules and a vision and a mission and a plan of action. If people are going to operate outside of that scope and mandate, then, you know, like I said, it's at their peril. We haven't. We can remove parties by consensus if they just break rules and do what they want, and if their conduct is not beneficial towards what we are busy with at the moment, or what we are planning, or, you know, what our goal. So there will be competition. So we're not saying that people must now just simply go and vote for any party that's part of this charter. You've got people have their political houses. They've got their political identities. If you don't like a particular party and you want to see more people represented from another party, then vote for them. Yeah. So if you want to put more UIM backsides or in national government or in those seats, then you're going to have to vote for us. So I know that there are the UIM, you know, we became a party, or we formed a party because there was a need for us to you know, for the UIM to come into existence, because there's people that left other political parties, you know, for various reasons and things that have happened in the past. So, you know, that's all fair. So those people must just make sure that they put more UIM people in government. That's it. As simple as that. Like I said, there will be competition. We're not going to bash each other. We're not going to pick on one another. We're not going to publicly attack one another. But everything else remains the same. We are all going to be responsible for our own separate individual campaigns, and we'll continue campaigning as the UIM. But the nice thing is there are a set of principles and things that we agreed to during the convention. And that for South Africa is great news, because it means that there are parties out there that differ on a lot of things. But the most important thing, at least, is, you know, we see eye to eye on the most important things, on the most important issues. And that is that South Africa needs saving. We all love our country. That's a fact. Every single party and representative was there loves South Africa, understands the peril that we are in at the moment. And we all, you know, want to remove the ANC and keep the EFF out. And, you know, we all agreed on those points. And for me, that's enough. I said, we will differ on certain policies and certain issues, but that is the important stuff that we agree with. And, you know, if that remains the case going forward, then we can definitely form a coalition government with those parties that, you know, that are part of that charter with us. 100% we can work together.
Absolutely. En op daai noot sê ek baie dankie SG. Dankie, jy was fenomenaal, Jacques. Waardeer jou. Ek het langer gepraat as wat my ADD kan nou. Gewoonlik is ek net 30 minute. That's why I forgot Shamila, my brein het al klaar gaan ander goeie soek in my kop. En hallo Zenda. En goodbye Zenda. Goodbye everyone. God bless you guys. And thank you for tuning in. Baie dankie SG. Onthou mense, registreer by IEC, registreer op die UIM platform, laat weet ons waar julle is en steek op julle hande as julle asseblief wil saam hierdie tuig saam met ons deurmaak. Baie dankie en die Here seën julle. Fantasties. Bye.